Well, ready to start the second quarter here at Subiaco Oval in the State of Origin Championships. We welcome HSV7 in Victoria, ADS in Adelaide, DST in Tasmania. And a beautiful mark they're taken down there on the far side there, and that's a good start to Malcolm Blight, and he is only 35 metres out directly in front. He certainly battled in that first quarter to get South Australia going. 7-10 to 4-2 Victoria, and South Australia kicking with the breeze in this quarter to the city end of the ground. Malcolm Blight. Now with North Melbourne, a high kick in there, allowed for the breeze. It's floating in. It has floated too far and through only for the minor score. Well, South Australia with the breeze, they're certainly going to make the most of it, Kevin Murray, in this second quarter.
Yes, this is their opportunity. They fought well in the first quarter, but having this slight breeze now, and that was a valuable shot missed. I thought Malcolm Blight put it over the umpire, then the ball appeared to hit the ground first. Well,
Kelvin Moore now, substituting, I'd say, today for Jeff Southby, taking the kick into play. And there's a good kick out towards the flank. Michael Tuck. Oh, well got over there to Jeff Rains. He's the main kick getter on the ground at the moment. There he goes. He's run nearly up to half forward, put it in towards full forward with a good kick. Looking for Dempsey. But the man in front has been paid, and it's Jeff Phillips. Phillips paid there in the last line of defence to hold up that attack and boots it back towards the member stand flank. And there's an infringement to skipper Rick Davies, and he'll take it. Away he goes. Boots a long one down towards centre half forward with a breeze. Oh, great mark. No, it's not paid. Max Crow picked up by Corns towards half forward. Very close to the line now, and out of play, being left half and left full forward for South Australia. Frank Sparrow.
Kevin, how do you see the ruck duels at the present moment?
Well, South Australia have been getting plenty of knocks, Frank, but they're not going to the Rovers. They're just going anywhere, and this is usually a strength in their area in the ruck with Rick Davies, but I think that they've got to throw him back on the ball and drop possibly Andy Bennett into centre half forward, Frank.
Well, Wilson with the free kick now for Victoria on their right half back flank position. Hand pass to Moore. Victoria now to the right half forward flank, but a kick behind the plate and taking the mark is Carey of South Australia. Quickly to Klomp. Into centre half forward. Oh, easiest of marks missed there by Dunstan. Corns into the pack. Knocks to Jonas. Chance now for Rick Davies. Goes without the ball. Victoria come away coolly in defence through the boot of Crow. Right centre wing. Schimmelbusch a chance. Taken on by Gallagher. Also Bennett. Bennett with the short kick. Gallagher. In towards centre half forward. Jonas on the lead. Pushes the ball in front. Kick short now into centre half forward, and dropping down into that space is Jeff Morris of South Australia. Morris is marked on the true centre half forward position. South Australia kicking towards the left of your screen. Left footer. It's a drop punt. Sets it up high. Lets the breeze do the work. And a good kick from Morris, and a good goal to South Australia.
The breeze not playing a great part, but is blowing towards the left, and that kick going the way of Peter Carey came on as an interchange player. And that's the way to kick him, a 70-metre kick right down the middle. Corns from the back. Beautiful mark, Graham Corns. Well, this is a fellow that won the Simpson medal here back in July, playing for South Australia, and that would certainly be the mark of the match and probably the mark of the month at the moment. He threw himself at one a while ago. Now let's see if his kick matches the mark. There's the Glenelg player, puts it towards full forward. It looks pretty good from here, and South Australia are on their way back.
He's certainly a sensational player, Corns. What an excellent mark. Carey kicked the long ball down, and that's the way they're trying to use it in this forward line, because they've got two high flyers there in Corns and Blight, and that should lift them now. And Frank, I think that Victoria will have to fight a lot harder.
No doubt about that. 4.5-minute mark in this second quarter of play, and South Australia kicking the ball long, which is the way to play it, and straight down the centre. Interference at the centre bounce down. Moore queries the umpire. The free kick going to South Australia's Carey. Long kick again. Here's Blight on the lead, and Blight has taken a mark. South Australia all fired up at this stage and doing it very, very well indeed. Well, the distance wouldn't be beyond Malcolm Blight. 50 metres out. The long kick on the way. He sets it up beautifully, and another goal on the board to South Australia.
Peter Carey started both of those moves with long kicks down to the forward line, and they're two prime movers in that area in Corns and Blight. Kicked both of those valuable goals.
Well, 7-10-52 Victoria, 7-3 South Australia 45, and certainly plenty of life in this quarter. There he is, Malcolm Blight, a Gary medalist, Brownlow medalist, now with North Melbourne, and certainly playing well today. There's Carey in there again. Gets a hand, he's going to get another kick. He's had 3 kicks in 2 minutes at the moment, and he's kicked 70-metre kicks, and I bet South Australian viewers loving every moment of this. There's another one, a beautiful kick from Carey. That's the way to kick him. Corns is in there, so is Blight. Blight under the boot. 1 goal, and South Australia are now 1 point behind, and what a game of football.
It's certainly come to life, Bob. Certainly Peter Carey's a fellow that's given them a lot of drive. 3 long kicks down to that area has resulted in 3 excellent goals. Now, if that doesn't lift them, nothing will.
Well, I thought it was a very good move then from the point of view of the ruckman from Victoria and Peter Moore. He immediately signalled for Dempsey that to come down onto the ball. So we'll see what Dempsey can do to try and stop the South Australian run. Up they go. Tapped away by Ruck Rover Bennett. On the run goes Hodgman. Long kick towards full forward. Last line of defence. Victoria desperate. Coming through his folds. In goes Lindsay. Hodgman with a chance. Across the face of goals. Dunstan. The ball finally out of bounds, left full forward pocket. Well, the pressure well and truly on Victoria now as we wait on the throw-in. Dempsey and Rick Davies. Interference, says the umpire.
Davies doesn't like it, Frank.
No, well, Davies was prepared to put his body in front of Dempsey, who came charging down, and, well, there was only one way for Gary Dempsey to go. He couldn't stop. And Rick Davies has a big chance now to beat South Australia in front. They've only been playing about 7 minutes in this second quarter, and they've already added 4 goals won, which is good football. Davies in, and he makes no mistake. Another 6-pointer on the board to South Australia.
Hit this time. Tuck coming in. Umpire Phillips has picked the kick out, and it's going to Nan Kervis also on the ground. A couple of changes by Victoria in this quarter, and the kick must come back to Nan. No, it's Tuck. Michael Tuck will take it. Right in the centre of the ground, the Victorian and Hawthorn ruck rover has not been in the play a great deal today, and perhaps a few of these players will need to lift, but there goes a good kick from Tuck, looking for Templeton or more. Plenty of players up. Well picked out of the pack there towards the half-forward flank. Max James is there. Plenty of pace. Look at this fellow go. He's got the lead further field. He's told Jonas. Jonas is loose on the half-forward flank. He's using the breeze. Oh, not a good kick from Jonas. Oh, Graham spilled it there on the line. Great passage of play by South Australia. But the ball, unfortunately, has gone out of play and the kicking to take place. No, it's a throw-in. It must have been touched before it went over the line. A throw-in about 10 metres around from the right behind post in South Australian territory. 57-52 in favour of South Australia. Rick Davies is there, takes the front spot. South Australia are using their bodies now and throwing themselves in, and umpire Capes is going to bounce it down once more. Billy Pickett was on the bottom of that lot. Bumped out by Max Crone. It's a good one. Finds Nan Kervis. A poor old kick from Nan Kervis, and the kick in, of course, will come to South Australia.
Well, South Australia dictating the tune of play as we come to the 10-minute mark in the second quarter, and we're going to see Morris now to drive the ball further downfield for South Australia. Moving in, this left footer sets it up for the high flyer. Blight sets, got the sit over the top of Moore, but interference, says umpire Capes, and Moore to take the free kick.
I noticed that Dempsey gave him a backhand to the teammates back in Victoria.
Might have only been a love tap, Bob. Anyway, we'll see now what Moore does, and he drives towards the right centre wing. Dempsey a chance, good strength mark, taken on by Carey, and Dempsey wants to have a piece of the big fella. So the two big fellas have decided that they would lock horns temporarily. Now a bit of sanity reigns. The hand pass to Dunstan. Up towards the centre of the ground. Cloak with strength. Beautiful mark. Good mark by the Victorian centre-half forward, David Cloak. Hand pass now onto Rains, right half-forward flank. Up towards full forward. South Australia in the van, and take the mark there through Taylor. Taylor steadying the game down. The lead out wide towards the right half-back flank outer side, but Turner in the way for Victoria and will boot them back forward as he sees plenty of Victorian players loose at centre half forward. Wilson with the ball, steadies, not a good kick for 1 point only. So Victoria's first score in the second quarter. On the scoreboard, South Australia 9 goals 3, Victoria 7 goals 11 as we come to the 12-minute mark in the second quarter of play.
Very unlike Gary Wilson there, usually a pretty reliable kick from goal. And there's a good kick out right towards the outer flank. Dempsey lurking in the background. Picked up once more by Turner. Plenty of pace, this fellow. He's run to centre half forward, he's in trouble, and he's holding the ball, says the umpire. Ran that fraction too far, and a good tackle put on him there by Russell Ebert, and he'll take the kick. Boots a long one towards the far flank. Plenty of players out there. Carey's one of them, and he takes a mark. He certainly sparked this revival for South Australia. Puts it down to Jonas. Well played, Jonas. He handballs into no man's land. Billy Pickett. Ooh. Oh, he's going around in circles at the moment. And it's at half forward now. Here's a chance for Bennett. He sees a lead to Jonas, and Jonas takes the mark. Well played, Bennett. And bad play there by Pickett. Went right around in a circle and back into play instead of turning defensive. Peter Jonas. Been a pretty handy player on that half-forward line. He's 40 metres out, and the angle not great. Kick from Jonas. He's used the breeze. He's put it in towards full forward, but it's offline and through only for the minor score at the 13-minute mark. 58 South Australia, 53 Victoria.
Well, Moore to bring the ball into play. Goes short as he sees Folds in that right full-back pocket position. Up towards the right half-back flank. Chance for Flower. Oh, dear me. Could have got a free kick, but play on, says the umpire. And there's the square off in my book, because that is Irwin getting it for Victoria on the right half-back flank. Kicks long towards right centre wing. All the big fellas are camped in there, and all the high flyers. The ball to the ground. Ebert a chance. Hand pass astray. Good play, Flower. Hand pass to Cloak. Cloak then onto the penetration of Rains. Oh, grabbed high. Steadies. Gets the free kick. Tell you what, only kicked a point and could have steadied a little bit more. So Victoria boot their second point for the quarter. South Australia 9-4. Victoria moved to 7-12, and the ball coming into play now by Sorrell.
And a good cook out looking for Phillips. Phillips is in the back of Cloak, and Cloak must take the kick. Well, the crowd don't like it, but it was definitely on there. Phillips flew too early in the back of Cloak there. David Cloak, who's been a pretty good player on that forward line, not getting a great deal of support. Now he's gone for the long kick, looking for Templeton. Into the pocket goes. Plenty of South Australian players there. Flicked out, but it's Irwin waiting for it. He's only about 30 metres out. Allowed to get his kick. Kicked a high one to all fall forward. It looks pretty good from here. It is. And there's the 8th goal on the board to the Vicks.
Peter Cloak is definitely, David Cloak at least, is definitely giving them drive at centre half forward there. But Victoria seem rattled. They're not having that easy game that they thought they may have had. They're not moving the ball as well as I thought they would have, and they've got to improve a lot.
Well, the little fella you saw on your screen just a moment ago, Irwin, was a beautiful sidestep for him to kick that goal. Moore, ball sharked by Corn. South Australia to centre half forward, and a great mark there taken by, it looks like it's Lindsay. By gee, got into the air very, very well indeed.
Got a great reputation in South Australia, this young fellow.
Yeah, and a good footballer too. He shows a ton of courage and prepared to commit himself every time for the ball. True centre half forward position. Kick up towards the edge of the square. Crow a chance. Knock to the ground. Bennett goes through and kicks into an open goal and snaps truly.
So some great kick getters out there as the ball's put in motion once more. Terry Moore flying, but it's sharked by Hodgman. South Australia on their medal at the moment. Bruce Dool underneath it. Can't take the mark, but he's paid the kick. And the Carlton defender, who's been a very good player over a number of years, will take his kick at half-back. Puts it in towards the centre, looking for Templeton. Button gets it. James trying to come through. A lot of trouble going on out there. Ebert's in there too. Oh, look like holding the ball. It is. The kick must go to Victoria. Picked up by Rains. He's a clever player out there. Gives it to Brownlow medalist Terry Moore. Towards half forward. Miles high in there, nobody can get it. Gallagher can. Oh, he's handball to the wrong player. He gave it to Wilson to Tuck. Tuck's only 30 metres out. There's a mistake that cost a goal. The boot from Michael Tuck and right through the centre.
Very creative handball by Gary Wilson then, and Michael Tuck made no mistake about it, and that should start to get Victoria going. But Peter Moore let go a high kick then instead of looking for someone further afield, and they're making a lot of errors, but that will give them a lot of heart, that goal.
Well, Michael Tuck then in good form. That's his first goal for the day, and we come up to the 17-minute mark, and Victoria have moved to a 2-point advantage, 66-64. Moore and Button. South Australia doing better in the ruck duels at centre bounces. A chance there for range. The ball finally socket out wide. Right half forward flank for South Australia. Lindsay with possession. Kick short. Moore takes the mark for Victoria. Centre half back position. Playing on quickly towards the right centre wing. Schimmelbusch a chance. Crumbs to Flower. Beautiful anticipation. One bounce. Two. Over the right half forward flank. Oh, they got players loose everywhere, Templeton and Irwin. And it looked to me as if Irwin said to Templeton, it's mine, and just steadied and took the mark.
Done a lot of damage, Robert Flower, Frank.
Oh, great player. Perfectly balanced, Bob, when he gains possession of the ball. Kicks with either foot and knows what he's going to do with it and knows exactly where he is. Irwin. Oh, dear me, he hasn't got his kicking boots on today. Victoria again inaccurate. They move on the board to 9 goals, 13. South Australia 10 goals, 4 as we come to the 18-minute mark in this quarter. Well, Victoria started to come back a bit somewhat, Kevin, but they can't find the big opening.
No, they're not teaming as well together. As I mentioned earlier, Frank, you often used to watch the Victorian sides where they sprinted out and led well for the ball, and at times they're overdoing the handball when they can get a kick in and they're not passing well to one another.
Well, somebody who should know all about interstate games, that's former Victorian champion Kevin Murray with those comments. The ball to be thrown in outer side, left half forward flank. Neil Button still on the ball, and so is Gary Dempsey. Dempsey from the back flicks it over, taken by Phillips, but he can't get away. Corns coming in. Wilson there battling. Wilson at centre half forward, over to Nankervis, got a clear run in front of him with that left foot kick, and he drives it in towards full forward. It's a good kick, it's got the distance and the accuracy. Great goal, Nankervis, to give Victoria a further...
They've got that ability to leap high, and often with their ruck rovers too.
Well, there's the kick there, and a good lead from Button towards the centre half forward position, and Blight on the lead, Blight I should say on the lead, took the good mark. Malcolm Blight playing very well today for South Australia. He's already kicked 3 majors. And that's his 10th kick for the day. Coming in now. Up towards full forward, or 2 Victorians up. Nobody on the deck. Davies takes it easily. Oh, dear me. He really put his Rover Lindsay under the pump then. You know, he could have kicked it, Bob.
He certainly could have
kicked it.
He would have been about 8 metres out when he handballed that ball, and thought probably the other player was in a better position. But there it goes, a kick in now, and this game very delicately poised at the moment as the ball comes out towards a half-forward line. Klomp come right down from half-forward. Jonas is in there. Here's a chance now as the ball goes forward to Fry. An interchange player come on. He's put his boot to the ball, and he's put the 11th goal on the board to South Australia.
Eddie Fry has just come on the ground and received a good hand pass in, and has put a fine goal on the board for South Australia, and they've certainly got a lot of fight still left in them.
Yes, 10-13 Victoria, 73-11-5, 71 South Australia. We're just at the 20-minute mark in this second quarter, and a great game of football here. A little bit of light rain falling out there, but not affecting the players, and the breeze still blowing towards that left. Worth probably a couple of goals at the moment at least. Back with umpire Capes. Button still on the ball, and Dempsey's there with him. Picked up by Corns. There's a long kick towards Hodgman. Foles is with him. Hodgman in front. There he is, Blight lurking in the background, but he can't pick it up. Kelvin Moore can. Puts it up to Turner. He's surrounded by South Australian players. Very close to the line out there. Corns once more. He's been in everything to date. Still keeping the ball in play. Foles in front. Now it's Picken, I think, and he'll take the kick on that outer side.
Well, he's on the left half-back flank. Kicks the ball in towards the centre. Dempsey a chance. Takes the mark on his chest and watched pretty closely by Button. Dempsey's kick in towards centre half-forward. Klomp in the way, spills the mark. Cloak a chance. Off the ground over towards Irwin. Irwin watched pretty closely there by Taylor. But the short, hurried kick falls short, and South Australia mark in defence. Phillips now driving to the right half-back flank on the outer side. Two flyers, Tuck and James. Ball to the ground. Tuck kicks long, but does not kick accurately. 1 point to Victoria. They move to 10 goals 14. South Australia 11-5 as we come to the 23-minute mark in this second quarter of play. Sorrell to bring the ball in for South Australia. Goes short to the right full-back pocket position. Finds Carey. His kick towards the right centre wing. The ball knocked away, a chance for Rains, but it eludes him. Ebert with the ball. Up towards centre half forward, Jonas. Too high too soon. Coming away in defence is Falls now for Victoria. Up towards the centre of the ground, and a good mark by Michael Tuck. Tuck sees a lead out wide as Flower drifts into the play. Oh, Cloak and Flower nearly collide, but good talking between these players, and Cloak marks for Victoria. Just forward of the right half forward flank. Not many leads offering. The signal is to kick long and high, but then in goes short. Wilson, oh, missed the easiest of chest marks. The ball to the ground. South Australia back into business now with Russell Ebert has the ball.
And Russell Ebert in the centre. Triple Madeira Nicholas puts it down towards half forward. And a great mark to Kim Hodgman. Hodgman on the half forward flank wastes no time. Puts it in towards half forward. The chance over the back to Graham. He gives it further field to Davies from 30 metres out on the boat from Davies. What's he done? He has kicked 1 point. 11-6, 72 South Australia, 10-14, 74. Great opportunity there for Davies, Kevin.
Yes, he looked like he would have got a definite goal, Bob, because he was in the centre of the area to kick it and costly miss.
Kelvin Moore goes for the short pass out there and finds Gary Foulds. He's at half-back, puts it up towards the centre. Plenty of pressure on out there. Chance once more for this young player, Lindsay, but it eludes him this time. Over to Tuck, playing well in this quarter. Gets further field to Wilson. Well played, Gary Wilson. He puts it further field too. Victoria all over the moment. Taken by Turner. He's at half forward. A long kick in towards full forward. Jostling going on there between two players. And Terry Moore is paid the kick. Well, there's a one-out duel there, but the umpire said that Moore was held, and the crowd don't like it, but Moore has got the kick and only about 15 metres out.
I tell you what, Bob, Carey didn't like it either, the guy on his mark.
Peter Moore, the Brownlow medalist, now coming in. Makes no mistake about this one, and a very valuable goal at the 25-minute mark to Victoria.
Yes, they needed that one because South Australia have put in an excellent quarter, and there's not long to go for the end of the quarter, but Gary Wilson started the move again on that wing area, and he made up for the mistake earlier when he dropped that easy chest mark after a brilliant pass.
I think Carey should be brought back on the ball. He's the one that started it all off,
didn't he? Well, waiting for the bounce down in the centre. Good quarter of football. 11 goals between these sides at this stage. Dempsey taps. Tuck. Up towards full forward. A one-out duel again between Carey and Moore. Carey with a front berth. Tapped away over towards Taylor of South Australia. Right half-back flank, outer side.
Oh.
Corns into the air. James a chance, but it's Rains who reads it well. Coming through, drawn a play. Oh, do you think he put Moore under the pump? Bartlett back on the ground. Tries to thread through a pack. Luckily, grabbed too high. South Australian players don't like that. Dispute the umpire's decision, but Bartlett has the free kick.
Had a very quiet game, this fellow, Kevin. He's been off the ground, I know, but could not do nothing in the first quarter. 3 kicks to Kevin Bartlett only at the moment.
But he kicked a valuable goal before when he came on the ground, but he was in all sorts of trouble then because he had South Australian players all around him.
Well, we'll see whether this is a valuable kick too, because Bartlett doesn't make much mistake about it, and he puts another goal on the board to Victoria.
Yeah, Kevin Bartlett, an experienced player, and he got the benefit of the doubt then from the umpire, but at least he made no mistake about it, and he's put it right through the centre, and Victoria have gained a couple of goals break at this stage, and South Australia have need to respond well from that ruck. But I agree with you, they should put Carey back on the ball because he was the fellow that gave them the lift when they needed it.
He certainly was. 12-14 Victoria 86 lead, 11-6 South Australia 72. Corns trying to take it away. With him is Bartlett over the back of Corns, and he'll take the kick. And the big crowd roaring here, and I think most of them on the side, of course, of the underdog South Australia. There's a kick going to Hodgman. He's been a lively rover in this quarter. And a 15-metre penalty. Well, he's penalising the side a little bit there because the South Australian player was clear, but of course he'd whistle it up before the punch went, so it goes back to Kim Hodgman. Hodgman kicks a long one towards full forward, looking for Blight. He can't mark it. In front was Eddie Fry trying to pick it up. James comes in now. Picked up by Graham. He's left-footed it towards full forward, and that's a very valuable goal to South Australia.
Tenacious player, Michael Graham. We saw some of his ability when he played against Western Australia earlier this year, but barrowed in well for the ball then, and he snapped back a quick reply.
Oh, waiting for the ball now, coming back into the centre ground. Malcolm Blight just being spoken to by the runner, and he was right in the thick of things early in that second quarter of play. Bounced down in the centre. Tapped away by Ebert to Hodgman. Up towards centre half forward, but Doull for Victoria. Out wide, left centre wing, and finds Turner. Turner now coming onto the left boot. He uses his pace to get away from marksman Morris. Cloak uses strength. The ball coming to ground. Corns now to gain possession. Onto his right boot and kicks short up towards the right half-back flank and finds Morris. Morris to the centre. It wasn't a good-looking kick from Morris. Picken in the van, grabbed when not in possession, and must take the free kick in the centre of the ground for Victoria. 86 plays 78. Victoria in front. 29-minute mark in this quarter. Centre half forward goes the ball. Button of South Australia. A high kick up towards centre half forward. Picken, chest mark, and a safe one for Victoria. The back up on very quickly here by Folds. Out towards the left half forward flank where there's a chance for Turner. The ball on the ground picked up by James of South Australia towards the centre. Good strong play here by Lindsay. Hand pass to Ebert. Ebert then looks for Graham. Graham put under the pump there very quickly by Tuck. Too high, says the umpire. Graham with the free kick. Allowed to play on in front of the mark. Long kick to the right full forward pocket.
Oh, well
good football by Doull. Great play indeed when Jonas looks like he had that one all set up to take the mark. Doull just came through and knocked it brilliantly away from the South Australian player, and we've got a throw in the right full forward pocket. Davies to do the ruck work. The ball tapped away by Victoria's Crow over towards Tuck, met heavily. Chance for Bill Picken. Back up by Moore. Over towards the right centre wing where Flower has a chance, taken on by Klomp. Flower still goes in pretty strongly. The ball picked up now for South Australia by Klomp and caught holding the ball. So it's Klomp, who was the star for Carlton in their premiership win last Saturday, being caught holding the ball. Right half-back flank for Victoria with Dunstan to take the kick.
There's a kick in towards the centre. Dempsey pushes it further afield. Button having trouble there. No backup. Oh, well done by Hodgman. Over to Morris. He gives it to Corns and he's at half forward. Good play, South Australia. Down towards full forward. And the mark, and it's a great mark down there. Looks like Andy Bennett. And Bennett 30 metres in front. And the difference is 8 points at the moment. Favour Victoria. We're just over the 30-minute mark in the second quarter. There has been 13 goals scored in this quarter. Great quarter of football here at league headquarters at Subiaco Oval. There's Andy Bennett lining it up now. The siren can't be long away. This would be a valuable score to South Australia. He allows for the breeze. He's allowed well. And the 13th goal on the board, and the difference is 2 points.
Certainly been a valuable player this afternoon for South Australia, Andy Bennett. That's his third goal. He's a good ground player for his inches and takes a fine mark. And South Australia are certainly applying the pressure. Victoria are trying to do too many pretty things and not taking possession of the ball, Frank.
A good remark there, Kevin. I would agree with you too, and they've got to get right down and get on the determined side now and take charge of this game. Here's Dempsey tapping to Tuck. Tuck puts Bartlett under a lot of pressure, and of course consequently when the ball goes up towards centre half forward, rugged play takes place and James will take the free kick for South Australia. Could have been the opportunity there for the ball to be forced quicker downfield by Victoria, but fiddled around a little bit, and we see Max James with the ball. James now. South Australia full of running. James kicks to centre half forward. Dempsey into the air. Gee, Jonas went up high. The ball on the ground. Morris kicks hurriedly. Marked by Victoria's Crow. The hand pass a little bit astray, but taken finally by Folds. Left centre wing, Nankervis to mark. And a saddle put in there by Corns, but the umpire rules in favour of the Victorian player, Nankervis. Up towards centre half forward. Dempsey, Button, Cloak, all the big fellas. Nobody on the ground. Pace of Rains. Good football. One bounce. Bursts towards goals. Steadies and kicks for yet another point.
13th kick to Jeff Rains.
Yeah,
He's done a lot of damage.
He's done a lot of them and kicked a lot of points too. Victoria on the scoreboard moved to 12 goals 15. South Australia 13-6. 3 points the difference. 34-minute mark in this quarter.
James to take the kick. Another good kick getters out there. Blights had 10 and Ebert 10. Turner 9 and Corns 10. And there's a long kick towards the centre of the ground. Morris there trying to get his kick. Picked up by Button, but it's out of play. Well, the crowd are umpiring the game over there. They said it wasn't, but the boundary umpire said it was. And we're 34 minutes in the long quarter because a lot of goals have been scored. Dempsey there opposed to Button. Had a great duel in this quarter, these two. Looks like holding the ball. It isn't. Play on, says the umpire. It's at half forward, picked up by Michael Turner, the speedster. Away he goes towards full forward, looking for Cloak. Well picked up by Bartlett, but he's offline and through for the minor score. And the South Australians put a lot of pressure on Vicks in this quarter, Kevin.
Yes, and it's certainly paid dividends because they're not far behind, and they should go into the rooms at half-time with a lot of confidence.
Michael Taylor. Well, the 35 minutes are gone at the moment. The clock will run out at the moment, and a long kick towards centre half back. Corns in the air and takes a mark. A great player, this fellow. I saw Ron Barassi in the crowd a while ago. I wonder what he's thinking at the moment. Back it goes to the centre. Rick Davies gets it over. Hodgman, half forward flank towards Morris. Chance for South Australia. They're fiddling. Jonas pulled off the ball. He's at half forward. Andy Bennett. Oh, a shocking hand pass has gone astray, but Jonas uses the body well, but he's well tackled by Dude. Some great tackling out there by both sides. Max Crow's got it. Gives it to Nankervis. Back it goes to Foles. He's at half-back and get Victoria out of trouble.
Well, they've got the ball on the left half-back flank, and Victoria now drive to the centre. Dempsey knocks further downfield, but tucks out of position. James, nearly comes back into trouble, but hand passes very quickly to a teammate there in Phillips. South Australia at the right centre wing have found Morris. This left footer goes now towards the right half-forward flank. Big pack up. Nobody can win it. In comes Graham. Moore overruns the ball, taken on by Blight. The Victorian defence very, very desperate at that stage, and there was a bit of a mix-up taking place, and Graham receives the free kick. So a big chance now for South Australia to come back and hit the front. Graham, who is, let's see, has already kicked a goal for South Australia. The distance shouldn't be beyond him. Is he accurate enough? He makes no mistake. A good goal from the boot of the South Australian Michael Graham.
Yes, that's put them in front, and a valuable goal. Michael Graham burrowed in for the ball well and fought hard for it, but he played for that free kick and used his football experience. Well,
the clock's running out of bounds at the moment. The clock's gone to 35 minutes. It's gone over that. 12-16 Victoria, 88. Trail South Australia, 6-4, 90. 2 points of difference in favour of South Australia. And there's Button and Dempsey again, but it's Dempsey this time. South Australians gaining confidence in this quarter. Corns is in trouble. Comes once more to the flank to Fry. And he's holding the ball, says the umpire. And can Victoria get another goal before the siren? Gary Dempsey. A long kick towards full forward. Here's an opportunity. Right into the full forward position. Chance now for Peter Moore, is it? Puts it onto his boot. And he's put it through for the minor score to make the difference 1 point, with the siren due to go any tick of the clock. And the breeze, perhaps it's stronger out there than we think, Kevin.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from here, but definitely favouring the other end. And it's a great game at this stage, Frank. South Australia have impressed me.
Well, they certainly have, and they've shown a ton of determination. They've got it now through Ebert, taken on very quickly by Tuck. Chance for Turner. But South Australia come back through James. Over to Button. Right half forward flank. Use of the body there by Davies. Pickens hurt. South Australia with a loose man through Bennett. Right full forward pocket. Kicks towards an open goal. And a great kick from the boot of Bennett and puts South Australia further in front.
Well, he had to kick that goal. It was a fantastic shot by Andy Bennett. He's fourth for the game so far, but he ignored three teammates who were right out in front of the goal square area, and they would have really rubbished him if he hadn't missed that goal. But a great effort by South Australia. Rick Davies using his body well at centre half forward.
Yes, and 4 goals to Andy Bennett. 12-17-89 Victoria, 15-6-96 South Australia. Great game of football here in this State of Origin Carnival. Corns comes over the back of the pack. In comes Flower. Now it's picked up by Rains. He's a danger player. Onto the flank now for Victoria. Socket on there. Gunston it was. Flower centre half forward. And holding the ball. Well, South Australians in this quarter are tackling hard, and there's another kick going to Bruce Lindsay. He's at half back. Waste no time. Puts it towards Hodgman. And well picked up by Hodgman. Ebert in trouble. Gets out of it. South Australia doing all the attacking at the moment. Comes further field now to Lindsay. Puts a beautiful pass to Malcolm Blight. Well done, Bruce Lindsay. And Malcolm Blight, 50 metres out directly in front. The breeze over his shoulder. And we're about 40 minutes into this quarter now, I think, as Blight has a kick. A long kick. Will it make the distance? The score, nothing. 1 point. Yes, 1 point to make South.